There has been a time where we have all found ourselves in this position of just sort of going through the motions with life. Like living your life, doing the actions of living your life, but not actually living it. And you might be in this right now and not even be aware of it. I can tell you, I was not really fully aware of it when this hit me recently. Also, I just have to say, my angel number is on the clock right now as I'm recording, so we are meant to be here right now. And if you're with me, I am going to trust that you are meant to hear this, so buckle up because this is going to be one of the most transformational and potent pieces of content that you encounter today, this week, this month, maybe even this year. What I'm about to walk you through is how I literally transformed my entire life and self within a week. The steps, the mindsets, the actions that I took over the last week that took me on one of the wildest journeys of my life thus far, and one of the deepest spiritual self-alignment, life awakenings that I have had to this day. So buckle up, be with me here. We have a lot to cover, but I promise you, if you apply even one of these steps, takeaways, your life will transform and you will be 100 times happier, more aligned, and more fulfilled and authentic in your life. I walked through the fire. I was in the fucking trenches so that you don't have to be, so that you can take this game plan that I have for you and it can be way easier. I'm actually so excited to share this all with you because this is what got me through all of the shit I just went through, was genuinely knowing that if I walk this out, if I walk out this path and do this healing, do this self-discovery, this awakening the right way, right? I'm using air quotes because there's no right way, but the way that is the most productive, the most beneficial, the most actually truly healing, even if it's fucking hard, I can help other people, I can help you to do the same thing and have it be way easier for you. So this is like a love letter to me a week ago who needed these steps and figured them out the hard way, and to you now who may be going through exactly this, or just know that it is time to change your life and maybe you don't know where to start with that, how to even know what you want or the direction that you want to change your life in. Maybe you just haven't been feeling fulfilled or connected with life. Like you're doing the things, but you're not present in life. You're not really truly juicing life for all that it is. You aren't enjoying it. You're just going through the motions, but you're not in life. So this is where I found myself a little over a week ago. Everything should have been good. Everything, I'm sure, looked good from the outside. And it's not that things weren't good. Things are good. But I'm sure you can relate to this. There's these moments in life where even though things look good, they don't really feel good anymore. And you realize that something isn't right. Something's not aligned. And for me, it's been years of some of the same patterns and traumas repeating themselves in my life over and over and over again. Like it just feels like I keep reliving the same hell in these certain aspects of my life. And to be honest, at the time, it just felt like they were bigger fish to fry. Like my energy needed to be used elsewhere, but I cannot even begin to tell you how untrue that is, because really what happens is you just keep putting it off, and kind of exasperating the issue and making it into something even bigger, because it just starts to spread into every area of your life. And if you're feeling this like tingling of misalignment, like something is off. Maybe you are where I was and keep catching yourself repeating these same patterns and putting yourself in this sort of prison where the same shit just keeps showing up, keeps repeating itself, and you're not really doing anything about it. Even if you think you are, maybe you think that you're meditating and journaling on it and whatever, you're not actually living out the healing and living out the resolution to the problem. This is where I found myself. Nobody's life is perfect, no matter what it might look like on the internet. It can be so deceiving and can make you feel like there's something so wrong with you if you have issues happening in your life right now, or things just aren't perfect. I can tell you that these moments where things aren't perfect are the biggest blessings in disguise, because it's pointing out to you where something isn't aligned and where there is work to be done. And this does not just mean journaling on the topic or starting a new routine or meditating or just trying to fix these issues in a more analytical and logical way. Sometimes what it really takes with these big repeating patterns, these big repeating traumas, or these prisons that you continue to keep yourself in, it takes really removing yourself from the situation so that you can get a complete, total new perspective and see really what's going on. Observe the mindsets that are perpetuating this experience and sort of see yourself like a science experiment. Maybe you finally landed your dream job that you have worked so hard for years for, and now you're in that job and you're realizing that it's not fulfilling to you. Maybe you're in a relationship that you've been in for a very long time and it's safe and it's comfortable, but a part of you just feels like something isn't quite right. Maybe everything in your life on paper looks perfect, looks like you should be happy, you should be thankful, but you're just not happy. And I have been there. I know how painful and scary that is, to have all the things, have it all look so perfect, but it's not perfect. And it doesn't feel good to you. It doesn't feel right to you. And this really is the difference between building a life based on the expectations of other people, or what society has sold us is the picture of success and what will finally make us happy, and building a life on true, legitimate, unapologetic soul alignment. And even if you do that, there can be and there will be a time when what was once soul aligned for you isn't anymore. And that's a good thing, because that means that you're growing. That means that you're evolving, which is what we are here to do. So what got you to where you are now probably isn't going to be what gets you to where you want to go next. And if you're starting to feel this discomfort in your current situation, rather than trying to act like it's not there, resisting it, or feeling like it's a bad thing, get curious about it and really welcome it. I like to think of it like we're plants and we're in these pots. And when we're first placed in this pot, it feels so big and spacious and probably feels perfect for us. There's room to grow, room for us to evolve. And then, as a plant does, it grows. And eventually our roots start hitting the edges of the pot and it just becomes uncomfortable. It doesn't fit us anymore. Really, we want to grow beyond the pot, but we can't, because this container that we put ourselves in no longer fits the new growth that our soul is trying to experience. So you have to repot yourself. And that is a uncomfortable experience, because it means change and it means having to get used to an entire new sort of paradigm of life, one that is going to fit you better now and is going to support this growth that your soul is ready for and craves for you to have now. So here's what I wanted when I found myself in this situation of just feeling like something is off. And I could go into more personal details with a lot of this. I'm not going to do that yet. I just don't feel ready to. I've had it's been tough. This last week has been insane and also so beautiful at the same time. So we're going to cover all of that, but I don't know how much of my personal experience I want to go into the details of just yet. But what I will say, in the part that I am comfortable sharing, is that there have just been a lot of repeated traumas, a lot of repeated patterns, just the same thing over and over and over again. And what it really came down to was realizing and taking my own advice that I teach you guys here, I teach in my courses, to really put yourself at cause for your life and look at how you're perpetuating this experience. And what I saw was that I was available for it. I just continued to allow these things. I wasn't really doing anything mega impactful to really change it. I would say I was done, but my actions didn't line up with actually being done. And something with going into 2025 that an intention that I sort of set, but that I didn't even mean to set, it just naturally kind of set itself. And I started affirming and just started saying, and it's just stuck and manifested as things do. I was saying that this is my year of being done. Like, just being fucking done. When I say I'm done with something, when I decide that this isn't helping me, this isn't supportive to me, this is holding me back, this is unhealthy, this is not aligned, being fucking done with it and actually being done, like moving quick, not seeing how else it might unfold. Like, I've done that for some time now. Actually now taking the action and being fucking done, and then doing what needs to be done to move forward from that and move forward more effectively and in a way that's actually going to benefit me and where I want to go. I have entertained way too much shit in the last few years, guys. That's just me being so fucking real, which is another huge intention that I have for all of this here, is to be so fucking for real and authentic and just lay it out straight. Just be me. I'm surrendering to life this year, and I'm not making it be that I need to have it all figured out. And in that simple acceptance that I don't need to have it all figured out, and things can fall and burn, and I can start over whenever I want to, wherever I want to, however I want to. That alone has given me so much freedom to finally let go of all that isn't serving me, but that I've held on to for the safety and comfort of not shaking things up in my life. And really what I see clearly now is how much that's held me back. One of the points that we'll get into, and that I really, really grounded into during all of this, is really, truly divine timing. And so I say all of this as if I could have done something sooner, but I actually do believe that all of this is happening in divine timing because I needed to learn the lessons and learn them good, as I have over the last few years, to get to this point, to be so solid, to be so ready, and to even be in the mental capacity, mental state, have the knowledge to be able to go through all of this and do it in a really healed and empowering way through everything that I've learned, everything that I've studied about subconscious mind, about how we actually change and transform and create our lives, about spirituality, about intuition, about success and creativity. All of this knowledge that I've gained and that I have applied, I see that it is all coming to this head now, that I am meant to do even more with it. I'm meant to go through this massive transformation that I am going head first in now, and that I'm bringing you along with me super rawly and super really. All of this in divine timing. I needed all of this to happen to really finally be done, and to also be in the state where I can share it with you guys and help you while I help myself through all of this. So after I acknowledged the problem and I saw, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm done continuing to do this. Things need to change, and I need to be the one to change them and actually not just say I'm going to change it, but take the action that makes this change real. I got clear on what I wanted, and more of the clarity on what I wanted came later, and we'll touch on that. But initially, what I knew that I wanted, highest level, was to reconnect to the truly deepest, realest, most authentic part of me, because I felt very disconnected from myself. And in a lot of situations, this can happen really drawn out over time where you almost don't even realize that it's happened. And that's kind of where I found myself, was being like, holy shit, I'm super disconnected from myself right now, from just my most real and wild and free and authentic Brooke. Like, so disconnected from her. And she's back now. She's here. She's in the room with us. But yeah, it was like quite a disturbing realization to realize how disconnected I was. And it was heartbreaking, I think is a good way to put it. So I wanted to reconnect with that. I wanted through that as well to reconnect with just my most aligned soul path, because you do that by actually being connected to and knowing yourself, knowing what you want, knowing what you don't want, and moving in alignment with that, being your own biggest advocate, being at cause for your life and for the changes and the transformations and the things that you want to see happen in your life. So I really wanted to get clear again on what do I want out of life? What do I want my life to be like? Not when the goal is completed or the big dream, vision, success has manifested, but what do I want my life to feel like and look like every day now? How do I want to live and experience life right now? Not when at a later date, but now. So I wanted to rediscover and reconnect to that, to me, my most authentic self and my most authentic and aligned soul path, which go hand in hand. And I wanted to learn these lessons, these repeating patterns, these self-made prisons that I've created subconsciously and kept myself in. I wanted to learn all these lessons once and for all. Like, I wanted to do the fucking work to get this shit out of the way, because I'm just so done with it. It's my year of being done. I'm fucking done. And I knew that healing is not something that we do for 10 minutes in the morning in our journal. It often takes a complete perspective shift. It can take you fully removing yourself from the situation to be able to get a fresh look at it and observe your mind. It takes time to really be in observation and to get the most real, authentic, raw look at the situation. It takes time. So I knew that this was going to be a process that was going to take time, commitment, and possibly cost me some productivity in my other goals. But I needed this time for myself, and all of that, it's really come to a point where nothing is more important than this to me right now. Not any goal, not any level of success, not anything that I'm manifesting. Nothing is more important to me right now than this healing, because it just needs to fucking happen. Because none of those goals, none of those manifestations, none of the dream life and big picture vision that I have for my life, none of that is going to get there or get there how I want it to get there and how I want it to feel as I get there if I don't do this now. I will just keep making things harder than they need to be. And that's the biggest mindfuck and paradox of this all. You feel like if you just sweep it under the rug and keep going, you can keep up the front. But really, as the saying goes, what you resist persists. And those lessons just start popping up in other areas of your life. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, this lesson is just being reflected in literally every area of your life. And it just feels like you can't go on any further. And I truly believe in the spiritual understanding of all that is that is the universe being like, you are off path. I know this is hard for you to go through right now, but this is me helping you get on path, because ultimately that's my greatest intention for my life. And it probably is yours too, to live truly soul aligned and to live a truly soul aligned and authentic and fulfilling life. So here's what I did and what I am still continuing to do, because like I said, this level of healing and transformation, it takes time. It's not something that we just visualize in our journal once and, it's set and done. Like I said, there's a lot of observation work. There's a lot of feeling through the shit. There's reprogramming the way that you do things. There's actually making the space and time to connect with yourself, to hear yourself. And then, of course, all of the massive actions and changes that you then have to walk out as a result of all that you uncover. All of this to say, I am still moving through this. As I said, feel like a completely different person in just a little bit over a week. It's been a little bit over a week. The transformation, the level of awakening that I've had is insane. This will go down in history, my personal history, as one of my most profound awakenings and one of the biggest moments in my life that I know will change everything. And like I said, what's gotten me through it and what continues to get me through it is knowing that as I walk this and as I do this for myself and I give my time and my energy to help myself right now, I can also help other people through that too. So now that I've let you in on some of the tea, you know what's going on. I've broken the ice here with this situation. I feel like I can take you on the journey with me and share with you more of what I continue to do, how all of this continues to grow and change and evolve. But these are the first steps that I took, that I put into action last week when I decided I'm fucking done, unplugged from the world, took a break from work, and pretty much secluded myself most of the time to work on myself, to do this healing once and for all. This is what I did. I kept a running note the entire time of the big mindset shifts, the big things that I was doing that I felt like were making the biggest impact and the biggest change. And I'm still continuing to do these things, but I want to share them with you now so that if you're at all feeling any similar way, and please let me know, because that's another thing that I've found with this is realizing that you're not alone. That alone can be one of the most healing things, and that gives you that burst of motivation and power to do the work that needs to be done, to know that you're not in this alone. You're not alone. Other people move through this. And that's why one of my biggest intentions is just to be so fucking for real moving forward, because I want to share my shit with you guys. I want you to know that you are not alone. I felt so alone just a couple weeks ago, so fucking alone. And that feeling was so scary and so dark. And I don't want anybody to feel that way. So if you're moving through anything like this, please let me know below. I'd love to connect with you and connect with other people in the comments who are moving through stuff like this too. Like let each other know that we are seen, we are held, we are understood. As crazy or upsetting or wild as your life situation may feel right now, you're not alone in it. Drop any of the shame that you feel around the situation that you're in, because that shame is just digging you deeper and deeper into it. I don't have that on my list, but that was one of my number one things that even got me to the place of being able to do the work, was just dropping any shame that I felt about needing to do the work. To be so for real, in the line of work that I do, sometimes I feel like I have to have it all figured out, because I'm helping people to heal. I'm helping people to transform their lives. And so for my life to feel out of whack or in the void and I'm not sure what's going to happen next, I felt like I couldn't have that. I felt like I needed to have it together. And like I said, that really prolonged me getting to the place where I am now, where I'm letting myself have a blank slate and go through whatever I need to go through to really get to the place of living and being and feeling as my absolute highest self every single day, which is a place that I have been before. And I know the magic of it. And I know all the beautiful 3D physical world things that manifest from it. But I haven't been there as of recently, and I'm getting back. And now that we're in on this together, I feel comfortable taking you on the journey with me. So we'll talk more about that at the end, but be sure to follow along on my TikTok, my Instagram, subscribe to the podcast too, if you're watching this on YouTube, because I am going to be doing more audio only sort of podcast episodes too. Obviously subscribe to the YouTube, but I'm going to be making series off of this. I just want this to really be the core of what I'm creating right now, because it just feels very timely. It feels very real and authentic to me. I mean, it's my real fucking life. So, okay, enough said. Let's get into the points that I have to share with you. So number one being making a commitment to feel. Anytime that we are facing uncomfortable feelings, it's just human nature to try to avoid them at all costs. And in the modern world with technology and social media, it's just so easy for us to numb out and to not feel, because you might feel an emotion and subconsciously, just automatically, as most of us do, reach for your phone and start mindlessly scrolling to numb out whatever that uncomfortable feeling was that came up for you. Also, who else does this, where you walk from room to room, from the living room to the bathroom, and you just use that blank space to scroll on your phone? Like, when are we actually checking in with ourselves and feeling, or even allowing ourselves to feel the feelings when it's not convenient, right? How often do we tell ourselves, okay, but not right now. I can't feel this right now. I need to, work. I need to be clear-minded. I need to do this or that. And we don't let the emotions come up and write out and observe them. That is really where the magic is in observing them, is in taking that observer's seat where you're less attached and identified with the emotions, and you're just able to watch them and allow them to sort of do what they're going to do, not attach to them, but see what's coming up and allow yourself to feel whatever that is. So that was number one for me. I made this commitment, this promise to myself, that I was going to let myself feel, no matter how uncomfortable that was, how scary that was. I promised myself that I was not going to numb out. I was not going to try to avoid the feelings or mask the feelings or try to tell myself that I felt a different way when that wasn't fully true. I was just going to feel, and made a commitment to the discomfort. So that was number one. And that might sound simple, but it is so hard. It is so hard, but so necessary for healing and for really getting to know the ins and outs of the situation as well, understanding the sort of emotional map and kind of chemical response that's happening in your body to life, to the situations that you're facing. Number two, creating space to think. So in the same way as most of us numb out and we never have time to feel, we do the same thing with thinking. Many of us don't give ourselves time to be alone with our thoughts. It actually is very scary and intimidating for some people, and I understand why, because when you give yourself the time to hear yourself think and let yourself feel, that's when shit can hit the fan, because you realize, wait, all of this that I've created, all of this that I've been doing isn't aligned. Or all of this that I've manifested and everything that's present in my life doesn't make me happy, and I don't want it. Like, that can feel so jarring. Or even the realizing that you haven't been showing up how you wanted to for yourself or your healing or your life. All of this can be really confronting and really uncomfortable. And this isn't a point, but I just want to preface this, that is why all of this that I'm about to cover with you, we come to it with a very non-judgmental, loving, accepting, really that seat of the observer, unattached point of view. Remember, you are on your team, okay? So even if you find that you've slacked, you've been disconnected, you've fallen off, you've made mistakes, you've invested all this time and energy into something that doesn't feel aligned to you anymore, that's okay. And I guarantee you, there have been divine lessons and guidance that all of this, and we're going to talk about this as well, all of this is perfect. It's all so perfect. The fact that you feel like your life is a mess right now is perfect. The fact that you feel like you want to burn everything down and start over from a blank space is perfect. And I know it doesn't feel perfect, but this feeling, what you're going through right now, this pain, this suffering, this confusion, this is all perfect. And this is the fuel. This is what needed to happen for you to get on path with what your soul really wants, what's really going to make you feel happy and fulfilled. The fact that you're getting these sensors that you're not happy, you're not fulfilled, is such valuable information. That's all that it is. It's information. These negative feelings, it's your soul communicating with you that something's off path. Something is unaligned. And so then it's your job to feel the feelings, to observe the thoughts, and figure out what isn't lining up. So in this space to think, it's both for you to just think about things, process things, explore thoughts, and watch your thoughts. So if we're always drowning out with music, even like a podcast or an audiobook, if we're always drowning out the silence in our life, we're never giving ourselves the time to hear our own thoughts, observe and notice how we are actually thinking. What are our pre-programmed ways of thinking? And when left to our own devices, when we're in the shower or driving in the car or first thing when we wake up or brushing our teeth, what do we think? What is our overall kind of energy towards the day, towards the things in our life, towards the things that we're manifesting? Does your mind immediately go to all the stress and the overwhelm in your life? Are you constantly thinking about what you have to do next and what you have to do tomorrow and all the endless to-do lists that you have? Are you stressing about money and finances and your future and feeling anxiety around those things? And if you've been numbing out, I'm willing to bet one of those things you are. And that's why you're numbing out, because it's uncomfortable to be in that anxiety. It's uncomfortable to always be living in the future and not in the present, or uncomfortable to always be ruminating on the past. It makes sense why you would numb out, but know that that isn't going to solve the issue. That isn't going to make you happier. What's going to make you happier is being able to sit with that, to look at it, to observe it, again, non-judgmentally and with complete unconditional love, and begin to notice what's unaligned so that you can make a positive plan forward. So that's what I really did. I gave myself complete space to think and feel. Again, I took time off work. I took a little bit, it's now been a little bit over a week off, and fully unplugged, which is another point that we will talk about. So I gave myself the space, and I was alone in my home, just me and my pets. So it was just really only me to sit with, me, my thoughts, and my feelings. And that is what I did. What's different about this time than other times that I have gone through this pattern that basically was my final straw and sent me into the spiral of being like, I'm done. Something needs to change now. Because of course there was a event that triggered all of that, which we aren't going to get into. maybe for another episode. What's different about this time than any other time this pattern had repeated itself in my life is that I actually didn't numb out in any way. Other times I would take a week to myself, but in that week I would be scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on Pinterest, working, just doing these things that although I felt like I was giving myself time and space, I actually wasn't. And I was sneakily numbing out. So if you can, and if you're in this position, I say your mental health, your well-being goes first priority above everything. Like, take the time off. Take the fucking time off. Use your vacation time. Use sick leave. Take this time for yourself. Like I said, it has been a week, and in that time, I have had the most incredible, profound, healing, awakening experience in such a short amount of time. And from that time, I am now able to get back to my regular life and take what I learned and continue applying the things. But I first needed that reset space. Honestly, I was calling it rehab. I was like telling myself that I was in rehab. I saw it as like designing my own personalized self-development or soul healing retreat or rehab. I also like this concept of what I call mind baths. So as I said, we tend to just always be plugged into something. Creating space in your life where you can just give your mind a bath. Let your mind sort of turn off and just be. For a lot of people, this is meditation and having a daily meditation practice. That is absolutely a mind bath. Other people, you might experience this during a workout or even while in the car listening to music, but just vibing to the music and not thinking. Or if you are thinking, just simply letting thoughts come and go and flow and just clearing the mind. As someone who's very ambitious, tries to be as productive with my time as possible, has so many goals, has so much going on all the time. Something that I found that is no longer going to continue to be a thing in my life anymore is that there wasn't a lot of just space, of silence, of stillness. I love learning, and learning's a great thing, but we need to be aware of how much we consume versus how much we create or how much we just be. And I was consuming a lot of courses, a lot of podcasts, a lot of books, and all of this is great and it's amazing and there's a time and place for that. But something that I'm really feeling into in this season of life is these mind baths. So this space of stillness and just being with myself, being with my thoughts, or even just like blasting my music with the windows down and driving and just existing and enjoying the little pleasures of life. Number 3, these are 2 mindsets that really got me through all of this. And I don't remember which came first, but on basically day 1, same time that I committed to feeling, I really downloaded and then just locked into these mindsets, and they carried me the whole way through this process. And those mindsets are, number 1, this is perfect. Everything's perfect. We've already kind of talked about that, but we'll get into it more. And number 2, I am on divine timing. So let's dissect both of these a little bit more, because these are cliche, right? Like we've heard them before, what makes them so special. But what makes them so special is feeling into them and understanding them on a whole new level, like a cellular spiritual level, which is what I did over this time. So let's talk about the divine timing one first. I am on divine timing. I actually don't think I would have been able to do this week and do this sort of rehab for myself if I didn't lock into this belief, this mindset, this paradigm. Truly, it's like a lens of seeing and interacting with the world from. Basically, how this hit me and how it hit different and so much harder than ever before is seeing how perfect everything did happen, although it has been a struggle. And although this situation was like a ton of bricks and was hard, I felt like it was going to break me. Like I really felt there were days where I felt like I would never come back from this. And like I was just going to be broken forever. And then realizing how perfect everything had to line up for this to all occur in a time when I feel smarter than ever. I feel more equipped than ever with the spiritual, energetic, subconscious mind rewiring tools to do the work, to really transform, change your life, and heal permanently and deeply. And to finally really be at this place where I'm just done and there's nothing that could make me not be done. And if you tried to force me into this a year ago, 6 months ago, it wouldn't have worked. I needed to come to this in my own divine timing. And so realizing that when something feels right, and in the time that it feels right, it is right. And what felt right for me was taking, and I'm seeing my angel number again, was taking that time and taking the time to completely, fully unplug from my life and give myself that space, give myself the time and energy and attention that I give to everyone else to help other people and really help myself this time. That I came to that in such perfect timing. I could have never planned for it. And it was in this perspective of seeing the world from that I am on divine timing that I was able to really surrender into the process and not worry about taking the time off work or not worry about how long it was going to take me until I felt ready to be in front of a camera again, and just fully surrender into the healing process, which I still am. Like, I am still healing. I am still rewiring. I am still discovering and getting more clarity each and every single day. And I don't have a time limit on that. I don't have a time frame on that. It is happening so perfectly. And surrendering into that, truly seeing everything from that, gave me the peace that I needed, the comfort that I needed to just do it, to just fully go into this and let it unfold. It is almost a concept that is hard to put into words, but truly being in that belief that I am on divine timing. It doesn't matter what the clock says. Fuck the clock. It doesn't matter what your goals for the year said, or your goals for the quarter, or your goals for the month. It doesn't matter what you thought you'd be doing or where you thought you'd be by now. You are on divine timing, and nothing you do is really going to change it. So you might as well surrender into it, let yourself be led and flow with it so that you can more quickly learn the lessons that you're meant to learn and get on the path towards where you want to go. That's really how we maneuver timing. It's not by resisting it and fighting against it and thinking we know better. Our higher self knows the exact perfect timing. So just surrendering into it, trusting that you are on that divine timing. If you just let go and let it be and be present in it, everything falls into place. And that second mindset shift, that this is perfect. Realizing, again, they go hand in hand with divine timing, that all of this, as painful as it may be, is perfect. It is exactly what I need to do, exactly what I need to learn once and for all, exactly what I need to heal once and for all, to get me where I actually want to go. Like these traumas, these patterns, this like self-made prison, has no business being in my dream life that I am manifesting now. It just doesn't exist there. Like when I envision that dream life, these things are not present there. So how the fuck did I think that I was going to get there and ever live that dream life carrying this baggage with me? Like it just never was going to work. So I have been ready for this up level, for this massive quantum leap in my life for quite some time now. And it just kept feeling like it was coming and then going and coming and then going. And it was because I wasn't letting go. I was not letting go. And to create a new life, you have to let go of the old life. I just wasn't ready to let go yet. And that's perfect though. That is perfect because again, I am on divine timing. And in the perfect divine timing, I find myself in this position, like I said, with the knowledge, with the skills, with everything that I need to coach myself through this, to take myself through this, and then be able to help other people too, because I'm able to walk it out really effectively and applying all of the skills, all the knowledge. My battery died, but we're back. As I was saying, I have all the skills, I have all the tools, I have all the knowledge, I have all of the techniques to piece together and create myself this healing, transformative protocol. And I'm so thankful to be able to do that for myself. And I've done this for so many other people. And I've done this for myself before too. I mean, my 2 programs, Align and Attract and Scale, are both processes that I went through, which were major awakenings in my life. And I need a new level of it now. I need something else now, although I will be revisiting Align and Attract with this next launch, which I'll be launching it soon. So get on the wait list. I'll link it down below. I'm super excited for this round because I am going to take myself through all the workbooks and everything, and then through Scale with the next launch of Scale, because that's the path that I walked that really manifested that level of my dream life, that first iteration of my dream life and that second iteration of my dream life. And now I'm ready for the third. So while everything in those programs is so valuable, and that's why I'm literally going to take myself through the same processes again, I also know that there's just other techniques and tools and processes that I need to take myself through now to do this healing and really break these patterns once and for all. So I'm so thankful that I'm able to do that for myself and to give to myself and be both the coach and the client for myself during this era of my life. And I see how this is so perfect. This is so perfect because if I didn't have all of this knowledge, then I wouldn't be able to help myself nor help other people. I wouldn't be able to walk through this, applying this knowledge, applying the tools, and then be able to show you guys what actually works, what's actually so effective as I'm walking it out in real time with you. And so you can apply this mindset to anything. And that's what I've been doing. It's become a mantra for me. This is perfect. Why is this perfect? And exploring and exercising your mind to see a different perspective of how even this may be really challenging or painful or difficult thing is actually perfect. And now that I'm speaking of this, I think that I remember what sparked this mindset for me. I've been listening to a lot of Ram Dass lectures, and one thing that Ram Dass always says is, this is perfect. And this too, and this too. Even in the most challenging or horrific things or suffering, he says, and this too. So that's been my little mantra as well. This is perfect. And then, as something else happens in the day that feels a little bit less perfect, and this too. And then taking it even a step further by exercising your mind and asking yourself, how is this perfect? Oh my God, I still have so much to share with you guys, but I feel like I need to make a part 2 of this because I don't want this singular episode to be too long, but I'm gonna go ahead and record it now and just put them up together. So whatever point we're leaving off on now, we will pick back up in the part 2. In the meantime, be sure to like, subscribe. Let me know if you're feeling this or if you're on this journey with me. Let's just connect in community down in the comments. That's something that I'm really, really anchoring into and calling in this phase, this journey of life that I'm in right now too. And be sure to follow the podcast, follow along on Instagram and TikTok, because I'm going to be creating series off of this, just really taking you guys along for the ride in all of the messy, wild realness. And as I mentioned earlier, I plan on doing more audio only podcasts. I personally love that medium of not being in front of a camera and just like being in the dark even and recordings. So there will be more audio only podcast episodes to come very, very soon. Thank you so much for seeing me, for accepting me as I am, just so raw and real with you here today. I cannot even put into words the gratitude that I feel for the people that the online ethers have connected me with, because you are my people. And it is such a blessing that we are able to connect with people in this way and find our people. No matter how far apart we might physically be, we can really come together and hold each other's hands through life and do this wild ride together. So I'm so thankful for you for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you for seeing me. I am just so thankful. So with that, I am sending you so much love and so much good fucking energy, and I will see you in part 2.